What's going on, family? Welcome back to the garden. So today I want to talk to you about what is the single best investment that we've made into our garden so far. All right, and to me, that's going to be having this irrigation system set in place. And I know a lot of people prefer to water their garden by hand, but I'm telling you, once you go irrigation, once you have an irrigation system set up, you can't go back, right? Because it's so easy. It takes so much work off of your hands. Like, we have a garden neighbor that she says it takes her like 3 hours to hand water everything, but she prefers to have it hand watered. I'm like, what can you be doing with that 3 hours outside of watering your garden? And trust me, I get it. I know a lot of people prefer to do it because they feel like it gets the amount of water that they need and it's therapeutic and all that stuff, which I understand because it's the same thing for me. It's therapeutic for me. So I'm out here every day watching grass grow, literally. But when it comes down to watering, like, this is something that I don't have to do. I think this is one of the, to me, watering is it's the easiest thing to automate. Right, it's the easiest thing to automate in the garden. Like, you can't automate seed starting. You can't, unless you're buying starts. You can't automate seed starting or transplanting or stuff like that. But feeding and watering, like, you can automate that. So why not do it so you can take some of your time back, right? But yeah. So for me, I know that like any garden that we have in the future from this point on will always have irrigation of some sort. It may not be this exact like system where I'm using the half-inch tubing and the quarter-inch tubing and stuff like that. It may not be that, but it's gonna be some level of irrigation, whether it be, like I said, this system here or drip tape or some kind of sprinkler. We're gonna always have the irrigation in place, right? Because like I said, I do find being in the garden and working in the garden therapeutic, but I feel like this is just one of those tasks that's you just don't have to you don't have to do it manually. There's so much more that you can do in your garden where you actually have to be there, like weeding and cleaning and the garden maintenance and all that stuff, that I don't want to have to be watering unless, like, why? Why? I firmly believe in working smarter, not harder, right? So that's where we're at with that. This has been the single best investment that we've made into our garden so far. But even more importantly, I feel like this setup that I'm about to show you has been like a big game changer also. And that's this IBC tote right here. So this IBC tote has made a difference for us because we were able to set it up to water this half of the garden. Because this half of the garden, as you can see, we got a lot going on over there. And then this other half of the garden, this plot right here, are further away from the house. So instead of having to run a hose to water both sides of those, to water both of those plots, I was able to just set up this IBC tote and run a main line of water from this tote to both sides of the plot. So in here we have a submersible pump that I'm using to push water through this main line to water both this plot right here and the plot on the other side. So over here we have four additional lines coming off the main line that waters this plot, and we're going to add 2 more lines so that we can put some more stuff in there also, right? We could plant more by adding 2 more lines. But that pump, that tote and that pump waters that plot, it waters that grapevine, and it also waters that blackberry vine. It waters that sugar cane, and it also has a grape that died up there that it was watering also. And then up here, to control the flow to either side, I have these blue valves that we just open and close, depending on which side we want to water. So we want to water that side, we open this valve. When we're done, we'll close it, and then we come over here and do the same thing. We open this side, and we water what's known as Melon Mountain. I was trying to change the name, but Keisha don't really like the name. But we water Melon Mountain on this side by opening the other valve, right? And this side is a lot simpler than the other because it's just set up to water in specific spots instead of watering like the 4 lines I got on the other side. This side just waters specific spots because if you guys remember from previous videos, if you've been following us that long, you'll know that up here we had melons growing in containers. So each container just had a 1/4-inch tubing running from the main line to the planter. So that's why this side is set up just a little bit differently, right? But this setup is super easy, and I'll do a video about it later on. But I'm just running an extension cord to my submersible pump, and this little gadget right here just keeps the plug from the pump and the extension cord dry in the event that it rains. That's it. Kind of a challenge to operate with one hand because of the way that it's set up. But once I get it open, you'll see how everything looks on the inside. So yeah, y'all, like I was saying, like having irrigation has been the game changer for us. It's been the single best investment that we've had in the garden so far. And if you set it up on a timer, you're even better, man. Like your timer is gonna come on and water your garden for you and shut up. Like you'll have, trust me, you're gonna find things to do outside of watering. You're not gonna miss hand watering, I don't think, anyway. But nothing is perfect, right? No system is perfect. While I like this system, if I was to do it again, I would do it just a little bit differently. And what I would do is, instead of using these red emitters, I would use, like in this 1/2-inch tubing and all that stuff, I would use drip tape, right? I would invest in a good quality drip tape, and I would lay that instead of using the tubing. And the only reason why is because these red emitters, over time, the sun just eats them up. And so far I've had to replace, like, not like everything, but I've had to replace like 10 or 20 of these emitters because the sun just eats them up, and they break. And next thing you know, you're having a steady stream instead of having the water coming out with the flow and the pattern that you want it to. It's gonna just be like streaming, like just pouring out of that emitter instead of watering like it's supposed to. It's gonna be watering something on the other side of the garden, which also reduces the water pressure in your lines, right? So like I said, if I had to do it differently, I would invest in a good drip tape. Now, I'm not a huge fan of drip tape, and that's only because drip tape, is typically really slow. Half gallon per hour, stuff like that, right? So I don't want to be out there watering for an hour. I want to be out there watering for about 15-20 minutes, and then I'm done. And I know that my garden has been thoroughly watered. And I've measured the amount of water that comes out of these emitters, because I just stuck it into I stuck one of the emitters into a watering can, and I allowed it to fill that watering can for like 2 to 5 minutes, and it will get about a half gallon per 5 minutes. So I can get out there and water for 3 to 5 minutes, and I know that my garden is thoroughly watered, and I ain't got to worry about it. So so I do like the system. Like I said, it does. The only flaw that it has is the emitters, and I'm thinking in the future, long term, I don't want to. We're gonna lay this line, this irrigation system, over a larger garden in the future, and I don't want to have to, first of all, putting the emitters into the tubing is tedious, and I don't want to do that. And then I don't want to have to replace them every 2 years. I just want to lay it once, and then if it lasts me 5, 10, 15 years with the drip tape, then that's the ideal setup for me, is to do it once and then not have to worry about it for another decade. That's beautiful, right? So that's my opinion on that, right? That's what we're going to be doing in the future. So I appreciate you guys for watching. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here. Definitely appreciate that. So if you found value in this video, if it helped you in any way, you guys know what to do. Hit the like button. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. We will see you guys in the next video, but here's a video for you guys to watch to continue to follow us on our garden journey. We'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.